You are listening to Money Matters podcast. Step into a world full of worth and financial intelligence. Dedicated to bringing awareness, empowering the world to financial freedom and personal development.
Welcome to the Money Matters podcast. I go by the name Clever Pinero. I'm in the studio with Alex. And today we're going to be talking about the problem that's going on in Ghana. It came to our attention that 99% of Ghanaians are clueless. They have no knowledge about good debt and bad debt. They don't know the difference. They consider every debt as the same. And that's how most Ghanaians live their lives. So today we want to break it down and explain it to them. What is a good debt and what is a bad debt? So pay attention, take a pen and paper, and take notes.
Oh, wow. I was thinking a debt is a debt. So we have a good and bad debt?
It's a good debt and a bad debt, man. The earlier you understand it, the better you will be when it comes to borrowing money and stuff like that. You know, in school, when you go to accounting and finance classes, when they're talking about debt, they're talking about debt with you as an employee standpoint, working for a company. They don't necessarily deal with you as the individual, but you yourself, you are accompanied by yourself, you know. So this is totally different from what they teach you in school. These things you don't learn in school.
All right.
You know.
All right.
So it's two different things, you know. It's a good debt and it's a bad debt.
I was even going to ask a question because my dad would tell me, stay away from debt. Do not borrow for nothing. If you cannot afford whatever you need to go use, do not. Being a good or bad one, don't borrow for nothing. But now I've realized, I guess my dad was wrong.
If you're from a poor family and you don't borrow money, I don't know how else you plan to break from that poor family, but you have to learn how to use debt to get rich or to break through.
Yeah, this is it. And this is why I think most of us are still stuck in that level, that class, that poor one now. Because literally my dad telling me do not borrow money for nothing, because you don't wanna owe anyone. Even if you're poor and you don't owe anybody, you have your peace of mind. This is a very poor mentality, because you may have a very good way of generating some income, but you may not have the initial capital to start.
Well, you know, life is all about taking risks, you know, and borrowing money and trying to find something to do with it is a way of taking risks, but you never know what the outcome is going to be. So you want to make sure you do your homework and you take that chance. If you're just scared of taking chances and you don't want to borrow money and you just want to work and save money, it's going to take a long time. When you borrow money from the bank, you get in tax-free money, you know. You're getting somebody else's money. It's a way of using other people's money to make money. The bank will give you that money to invest. They're not going to give you that money as cash to walk away with it like that. You know, the bank will give you $1 million to invest and create some kind of income for yourself. It's very hard for them to just give you $1 million cash to just walk away with it.
Yes, and I think some of this also can be attributed to the societies and our neighborhoods where we've grown into, or the areas where we've come from, what we've seen. Because I can still see that lady who do sell fish, dry fish. They usually go buy these things, not buy, but get them on loan credit. And after they finish with their sales, they go pay these people. But these are the people who will be selling these things and also be eating from the same thing. They don't separate themselves, their personal expenses from their market, from their business. So as they're selling and spending from it, next thing you know, all the fish will be gone, but there will be no money to go pay those guys who gave them these things on credit. So at the end of the day, you will see them coming to collect their money and they may not have it. And you see that little quarrel where everybody in the neighborhood is like sticking their necks out to watch. And this is very uncomfortable. You don't want to be seen. So once stuff like this keeps happening, people they start stigmatizing people. oh, these are the people who borrow and not pay. These are the people who just always borrowing to eat and stuff like that. So there's kind of put some kind of fear in us growing up, seeing these things happening. That's why some fathers and mothers do advise their kids not to ever borrow. But actually, there are very good ways to borrow.
Yeah, you have to be smart to borrow money. In America, it's the rich that borrows money. The rich borrows money to invest, to make more money and pay the bank. They never use their own money. They borrow money from the bank and the bank gives them other people's money. The bank gives them your money that you put in the bank that you're scared to use. They will give it to the rich people to use it. So knowing this, you also want to take advantage of it and find ways of your own money.
Because you'll be shocked to find out how much money some of these rich folks owe.
Yeah.
And they're owed to these banks, and you put your money in these banks and you think your money is just sitting there and it's safe. Not knowing others are taking higher risk with your money.
At the end of the day, if you borrow money from the bank and purchase properties that are worth, let's say, $10 million, or how much would that be in cities? Whatever amount it is in cities.
That would be huge.
So if you borrow,
I'm not even in a position to put that together right now.
If you borrow $10 million and you generated about $20 million and you owe the bank $10 million, you're not worried about that.
No.
You know, if the bank comes for their money, you give them their money and you still be okay.
So it all comes down to actually doing your homework, doing your research, making sure that no matter whatever that you put that money into, whatever the money that you've borrowed from the bank, whatever that you put it into, it's going to generate enough money to pay that loan and also get you something on the side.
So as the CEO of 2 microcredit companies, I've witnessed so many Ghanaians come to our company to borrow money, and they don't borrow the money to basically invest. Some of them borrow money for parties, for funeral, for weddings, for a birthday party, for just stuff that
you can tell that it's not going to generate any money. It might barely.
Some people borrow money to just go eat. They borrow money to go eat. They have no plans of doing any kind of business with it. So when you do the statistics, you can figure it out that even market women have a higher financial IQ than even the students that are just getting out of the universities and the training colleges.
Of course.
Because these are the students that comes to us and we give them loans before they even get their first check.
So now you borrowing money without any plans of making that back to pay what you just borrowed. What is the plan? Because you can't just borrow to borrow. You can't borrow just because if I go to these microcredit people, they will let me the money. They will lend me the money. So I should just go get it.
Yeah, when they come to us, they want to put their future money at stake because we know that we're gonna get our money.
Okay,
we know we're gonna get our money as soon as the government pays them. So most of these people are teachers, nurses. Majority of these people are government workers. So they take these money. When they take the money, they just go buy TVs and fridge and just decorate their rooms. They don't really do anything with it. So some of them will buy bikes and a bunch of stuff that's a bunch of liabilities. And these are college and university graduates. So nobody's teaching them in the school how to use debt. Nobody's teaching them what's a good debt, what's a bad debt. They have no clue.
It has always been a problem. The schools don't teach you how to make money. They will give you all these math issues, English, economics, whatnot. They don't tell you exactly how to make money. Because making money is pretty much knowing the difference between these things.
Right.
What should I put my money into? What should I invest in? What should I spend on? Because at the end of the day, if you're only putting money into consumable stuff, that's it. Once you purchase that and consumes it, that's it. It's done.
See, when these people that come to us, when they come to the microcredit companies and we ask them questions, what are you guys going to do with the money and stuff like that? and we realize they have no clue what they're gonna do, and whatever they're trying to do, it's not gonna help them. We don't give them the money.
Yeah.
But the government workers that comes in, we know that we guarantee to get our money. So with them, we give them the money. And as much as it looks bad,
Well, then
it's business.
You guys are not helping either.
It's business, but that is why we trying to educate them right now. We trying to help them out so they could learn. There's nothing wrong with,
Making
money.
And at the end of the day, each man is to himself. You have to make your responsible decisions because you're going to be accountable for every decision you take.
There's nothing wrong. There's some people that will go through that same route and go ahead and purchase taxis and run it and stuff like that. Some other people are smart. They use the money in a smart way, but not all of them. Majority of the ones that I know, the 99%, they buying like perfumes and just like buying stuff that mind blowing stuff.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. You have to impress the girl that you've had that crush on for all this while. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
So they're wasting all this money that they borrow and they don't know what to do with it. And the funny thing is the amount of money that they borrow with the interest that we put on there, it takes them a long time to pay it off.
Yeah.
But if you invested that money the right way and did something better with it, you could have made so much money to pay off the loan even quicker than the agreement.
Yeah, so I think we've taken the back door. We've not actually defined what a good debt is, but we've elaborated so much about.
So a good debt is basically a kind of debt that when you borrow money, you're gonna invest that money into any income producing asset, which is gonna create some form of cash flow for you for a long time, and you could use that cash flow to pay your monthly payments and still have some money to reinvest or to save for rainy days or to handle other matters.
Yeah, because the whole thing is providing for the unknown,
right?
Providing for the unexpected, providing for tomorrow. Because today you're here, you have clothes on your back, you probably have roof over your head and stuff like that. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So the whole focus should be on providing for these times that you don't know exactly what's going to happen. So when you go invest, forget about the self now and think about tomorrow. Think about things that would generate money for tomorrow, generate money for savings, for investments and stuff like that. Because if you always borrowing to eat, and I'm guessing that's the bad debt, borrowing to eat. Because once you borrow to eat, you've killed the money right there. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to generate anything. That's the end of it.
Yep. And a bad debt will be the money that you borrow, that you use that money to buy liabilities or basically just squander that money. Like I always use big screen TV as an example. Like you will borrow money to buy a TV, you bring it home and you pay to watch it. You will pay money to watch the TV, you know what I'm saying? So basically, the money that you borrowed is just going waste. Over time, TV depreciate. You can never sell the TV for the same price that you bought it. Same as a car, same as a motorcycle, same as any other liability. Liabilities depreciate. You can never sell them the same price. So majority of the people, 99% of the Ghanaians, they go into bad debt and they just basically waste the money. They don't know what to do with it. Their financial IQ is so low. Sometimes I feel like they should go to those Makola and Kumasi Central markets
market
and
women.
learn from these market women. And these market women are very smart.
Very, very smart with money.
They have a higher financial IQ. It's just that because they've never been to school, they cannot expand beyond where they at. The people that went to school that have the potential to expand beyond where they at, their financial IQ is low. They were never taught in school how to make money, how money works. So they don't understand that. They go to school, they finish, they think once you get a job, you're supposed to be rich. And they don't know that your job is only going to make you a living.
Yeah.
So once they finish school and they start working, They already have debt in front of them before they even start getting their first check.
That's what you don't want.
So they realize the job is not going to make them rich. And because they are so clueless about how to make money, they don't know what to do.
And they get stuck.
They get stuck. And that's how some of these people get scammed by pastors and some, people that are just preying on other people. And they just, start doing scams and try to get into politics and all that stuff, So once you sit down and you try to understand the difference between good debt and bad debt, you realize debt is not a bad thing. Because when people come to our business to borrow money, they always hide in and they try to make it some form of a secret. I always find it hard to understand, like, yo, why you coming to borrow money? Why you like hiding? Why you don't want nobody to know? There's nothing wrong with borrowing money.
That's the thing. I guess what they're borrowing to go do with it is the problem. Because if you know for a fact that this business is going to make you even more than what you're going to borrow, you wouldn't even hide. There wouldn't be any shame in borrowing because you're just going to use your knowledge and your experience to make even more. So why would you even try to hide or make it look like you kind of like subduing yourself somehow?
Yeah, I had a friend that graduated from one of the universities in Ghana, and he was saying that, you're always talking about we got to create businesses, find ways to generate money and not just depend on our job and stuff like that. And he was talking about, if I want to go borrow money from the bank right now, the interest rate is so high, whatever business you do with it, it's not going to work. And they might not even give me the money, blah, blah, blah. But these people have the energy to join the Unemployment Student Association in Ghana and run for positions and stuff like that and just waste their time. Meanwhile, they could find like-minded people, form some form of a group, work hard, save some money, and try to come up with a business plan and go to the bank and get some money and start some kind of business. Give it a shot. Try something. But they so afraid of debt, they don't want to take the chance, and they will join these groups and try to get involved in politics and just waste their whole life.
Yeah, so I think, not knowing the difference between the types of debts that are there.
Right.
That also, I think, is a huge factor because you growing up seeing how the scenario that I described earlier, having to see how these people go about things like that, you would definitely you feel some kind of way going into borrow, regardless of what you're going to use the money for. So now that you know the difference between debts, the types of debts that we have, which one do you want to go into? Good or bad debt? Because if you're going into a good debt, there's no shame in that game. You're definitely going to make it there.
All the rich people, they all borrow money. All the rich people in Ghana, they all borrow money from the banks. They borrow money and they use the money to buy assets and generate so much money from that money. Sometimes they don't even want to pay. They don't even try to pay the bank. The bank just gives them more money to reinvest because, when they generate money, the bank makes money too. So they just basically put themselves in a situation where whenever they ask the bank for money, the bank gives them any amount that they want. That is the position that you want to be in. You want to be in such a position where you could walk into the bank and the bank will give you the money. The bank are giving you tax-free money that you don't have to pay tax. You know how long it's going to take you to save these kind of money that the banks give? It will take a long time. You're going to work. The government will take all these taxes off and you're going to save all this money. It will take you a long time. Why not put yourself in a situation where you can walk to the bank and the bank will just give you the money right away? And you could just go and do your business with it. Find a business, any good assets, any good income producing assets, and put your money in, generate more money, pay the bank, and keep your property.
That's it. I was shocked actually one day to learn from one of the richest guys in Ghana. If I shall mention the name right now, everybody will know this person. But this guy sat on national TV and said that people will be shocked to find out how much money he owes. And I was saying to myself, as rich as you are, why? But then considering these debts, types of debts that we have now, I've come to understand why he said what he said. And I know why he keeps borrowing, because obviously that's what's generating money for him.
Right. You borrow money to generate more money and you pay the money back. It's pretty simple.
There are a lot of people with ideas, different types of ideas to make money. The problem stopping them right now is the capital to go into it. And they are also gripped by fear to go viral. What if I go and I don't make it? What if I try and some bad happen? If you don't try, how are you going to know what's going to be the outcome of your idea or plan or whatnot?
You know, at the end of the chapter, at the end of the book, everybody dies. Everybody dies at the end of the book. So you want to take chance and change the life that you have now. The life as you know it right now, you want to take it into your own hands and try to make it as best as you can. And you can do this by studying how other successful people are doing it. And you could just emulate and do the same thing.
Exactly. And if you do not take any chance, the outcome is zero.
Basically.
But if you take some type of chance, some sort, you have at least in that one of those movies, the Dumb and Dumber movie.
Right.
I think this guy have seen this girl, that he had a crush on this girl for so long. So, he made a move one time and asked the girl. So what do you think are the chances of me going out with you? The girl looked at him and said, 1 in a million. And the guy stood there with a confused face. And then he said, oh, so there is a chance. I was like, wow, there is a chance. So if you don't do anything, you have 0 chances. But if you try, even 1 in a million is still a chance.
Right. You got to take chance. You got to take a chance. And, like we always say, you never stop learning. You're always learning from the best, from the rich, from the people you want to be like, the people that you admire. You want to study from them and try to do the same thing that they're doing. Don't just accept your life the way it is. At the end of the day, nobody cares. Nobody cares. It's your life. You have to take your matters into your own hands. Nobody gives a damn about you. So take matters into your own hands, learn the difference between good debt and bad debt, and make the smart choice.
And always dig deep, research, do your homework, make sure there is going to be an impact in whatever you're trying to put the money into, whatever whatever business, whatever investment you want to get into. You want to make sure that you've done enough research, because we want you to go borrow, but we also don't want you to just borrow because you have the opportunity to borrow. So you're just going to go take it. We want to make sure that you are borrowing to put into a great use that will generate more than what you've borrowed to pay for itself, and also make you some money to the side.
So when you do all your homeworks and you're ready to borrow, come to Safe Hands Microcredit. We are accredited by Bank of Ghana. We will get you the money that you need.
There you go.
All the money you need, we have it. We will give it to you. So do your homework, come back and talk to our managers, and we'll help you out.
There you go. There you go.
All right, guys. This is it for today. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. We're trying to build a community here. We're trying to build a community where we're going to be sharing ideas about how to make money. Everything money we talk about. Like we always say, if you don't make money, it don't make no sense. So subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe, and let's share ideas together.
Definitely. And like I always say, not all rich people were born rich. It all depends on the decisions and the turns you make. So sit down, analyze. Do your homework and go into that bank, go into that microcredit and talk to them.
Safe Hands Microcredit.
Safe Hands Microcredit. They will definitely hold your back. They got you. So go talk to them and make that move.
All right. That's all for today.
That's all for today. Until we meet again next time, never stop learning. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to our channel. Email us at themoneymatterspodcast@gmail.com.